All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are all joining us from. My name is Shayna. I am the managing director here at Host Agency Reviews. And I am so excited to welcome our next guests, our next webinar hosts from the wonderful host agency, Avoya. We've got Phil, their chief sales officer, and we've got 3 Avoya agency members. We've got Sudad, Deborah, and Bobbi. So thank you so much. I'm quickly going to go over the webinar, and then I'm going to jump off and I'm going to hand it right over to the Avoya team. So today, you're going to hear firsthand how these wonderful advisors have built thriving agencies, what tools have helped them scale fast, and how Avoya's platform, education, and lead generation system played a pivotal role in their growth. Specifically, we're going to get into conversations around daily habits and business models of Avoya's top earners, how live leads, education, and technology fueled their path to success, the mindset shifts that help them get from just starting to in demand, tips for creating repeat clients and scaling without burnout, and why community and support makes all the difference at every single stage. As a reminder to everyone, please feel free to post any comments, questions into the chat. We have our wonderful assistant, Abby, who is hanging out in there with you to make sure that we catch as many of the questions as we can. I will jump back on for the last 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how the conversation goes, to ask the Avoya team these questions. So without further ado, Phil, I'm handing it over to you, and I'm going to head off. Have a great time, everyone.
Thanks, Shayna. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting us talk today. And like Shayna mentioned, my name's Phil Cappelli. I'm the CSO at Avoya Travel. That's Chief Sales Officer. And I have the privilege of working with a tremendous network at Avoya. There's no question about it. And I'm lucky today to have 3 great folks here. And in the past, if you've ever been on these host agency webinars, you've seen a lot of slides. You've seen presentations, you've seen decks and different talking points and talking heads. And that's always good when you're trying to get some information, but we feel like this is a better way to have a conversation for all of you looking at host agencies and understanding what it takes to get to the next level. And we've got 3 great ones here. So what I'm going to do today is kind of the moderator, if you will, ask questions. But today's about real stories, real strategies, behind the scenes look at what it takes to build a 6 or 7 figure travel business. And you've got 3 all-stars here that are going to spend some time with all of us today. So, you know, the interesting thing about the panel here is these folks are outstanding and they've built tremendous businesses, but they're just 3 of many in our group. And they'll talk about that as well, that have built incredible sales success through Avoya and through their business and everything that they do. So we want to spend some time with them. And so whether you're starting out or looking to scale up, or you're going to hear advice today that you can act on, not just slides, you're going to hear from real people doing the job that have built these businesses. These guests today aren't celebrities, although they are to me. They're independent agencies who made decisions that led to real measurable growth. And that's what's important for all of you guys to hear, is that these are real people. They're out there working hard and they built tremendous businesses. And I'm honored and privileged to work alongside them as we build not only their business, but the Avoya business, and we keep everything moving along. So I'm excited to have you guys on here. It's nice to see you 3. Great to see you. I know I saw you guys not too long ago at our $1 Million Showcase. Not all of you, but good to see you, Sudad, Deborah, and Bobbi. How are you guys?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Well,
yeah, it's great. Why don't we do this to start? Why don't we go one by one? We'll start with Sudad. If you can just give them your name, where you're based, if you have a specialty or niche you want to talk about, when you joined Avoya, and then what your business looks like today. Anything you want to share. So we'll start with you, Sudad.
Sure. So again, my name is Sudad, and I live in Dallas, Texas, and I have been with Avoya for 4 years now. Actually, I celebrated my 4th year's anniversary just like days ago. And my niche, mostly we do like ocean cruises, like the most, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, MSC. We also do a lot of all-inclusive packages to Mexico and the Caribbeans. And we also do a lot of guided tours, like to Europe, for example, Italy, Spain, South America, and Asia.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. How about you, Deborah?
I'm Deborah, and I'm based in Oregon, and I have been with Avoya since it's been almost 2 years. I think it was October, so close to 2 years. Brand new to the industry, and yeah, I sell primarily luxury cruise, expedition, but I'll sell anything group land travel. So far I just absolutely love the industry, and I'm really thankful that I chose Avoya.
Thanks, Deborah. Bobbi?
Okay, I think I'm what we call at Avoya a legacy agent. I've been here since 2007. In October will be 18 years.
Congrats on that, Bobbi.
Oh, yeah, it's a family for 100% sure. I primarily focus on land vacations as well. Based in central Wisconsin, it's easier for us to have the market flights, the charter flights that go straight down. So that's my specialty and what I focus on primarily.
All right, that's great. Why don't we pick up and we'll get into some questions here, and I'll just throw it around to you guys in different areas. Maybe some of these questions I'd love to hear from all of you, and then some I'll just move on and maybe ask you something different. But let's start with you, Bobbi, because we just ended with that. What was the moment you realized this could be more than just a side hustle? So 18 years, obviously, it's turned into much, it's turned into a fulfilling career. But when did you, was there a light that went off? What happened?
Well, I was primarily an event planner for American Express and was planning trips with a local travel agency and thought, wow, this looks kind of fun. Realizing it's hard work, but it looked like a lot of fun. So I started out part-time, probably started full-time in 2011. So 4 years I was just part-time. And then if you think you specialize, you can focus. With our host agency in particular, they train you and teach you as you go along. So I went through the program, specialized in a few things, and just went from there and built the business with repeats and relationships.
And did it take a while in the beginning just to understand the ecosystem and how everything worked? And was there something that was there a person or a training or something that just, made it happen for you?
When I started with Avoya, there was actually a week-long training process that we went through, and then you started the Open to the Live Lead program.
Yeah.
And so they would help you with the live leads. And that's when I started building my book of business with the live lead program.
Yeah.
Before I became, yes.
That makes sense. How about you, Deborah? Let's talk about that. The moment you realized this could be more than just a side gig.
Yeah. So it's funny how I started. I was booked on my own cruise. I had booked Icon of the Seas, and I was part of a Facebook group for my sailing, and I noticed everyone referring to their travel advisor, and it sparked my interest, and I was like, huh. And so I started researching the industry and how to become a travel advisor, and I listened to podcasts, YouTube videos. So I actually used host agency reviews as a resource to find. I learned I had no idea what a host agency was. So I actually joined a different host agency for 2 weeks, but I quickly realized I needed more resources, and I didn't have the tools to feel confident in booking travel. So then I did a little more research and found Avoya. And at the time, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I had a 5-month-old and a toddler. I was not looking into having, some huge career with this, but I knew it was something I enjoyed. So the minute I joined Avoya, I truly was blown away by the resources, the help, the support. They really do hold your hand, especially as a new advisor. And I can't say enough good things about the help I've received. And so I just slowly, educated myself. I started taking leads. I was doing really well. My early success coach, Alex, was like, hey, you should start taking Oceana. And then I really blossomed in the luxury cruise line. So it just went from there, and it's just been a huge growing experience. I feel like I'm just chipping away at what this industry has to offer. And my husband, he's really good at sales. And I was like, hey, the leads are really good. The leads really blew me away. They were much better than I expected. And I got him into the industry, and now we're, we just love it. Like I have friends that here like have joined Avoya because they see how much I have grown, and I just speak so highly of Avoya.
Yeah, thanks for that, Deborah. And I saw Will a couple weeks ago. It was great to see him. And yeah, I mean, we're just very happy you're here and that it's working out for you. And that, when you first started, it took you a while to find us, but you found us. And I hope you feel like you have a home now. So that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Sudad, I think that's such a good question. I think it's a good one for you as well, just for them to hear your thoughts on it.
Of course. So yeah, my story like a little bit similar to Deborah. So my background, I probably told many of my flow advisors, my background is in engineering. All my education in engineering, so nothing related to travel industry. And it was like one time I posted on Facebook, like a Facebook community group about my trip to Cancun. Like I went to Cancun 2018. Here are pictures of me in Cancun, and people start commenting on this post that, how can we get to this place? How can we make a booking? How can I get a hold of you? So at that time, it wasn't like, oh, I thought everybody goes online and make a booking. I didn't know like there's a sort of service like people need to rely on, like a travel advisor to help them with this booking. So it was like, for me, it was like a business idea. So I started doing a lot of research, like how to become like a legit travel advisor to make bookings for, for the community and for the people. So I did a lot of research. I found out like how to become a travel advisor. I found Avoya. Avoya was like one of the top, hosts online. And so at that time, they were like affiliated with American Express. I was American Express client. So that gave me more like confidence to join. And since then, I was working full-time at City of Dallas, like a local governmental agency, and started doing this part-time. And within the first week, I did my sales. I remember like I sold within a week, like the moment I joined, I sold like 2, cruises. And it was like during COVID time. So it was like 2021, which is not the perfect time to join this. It was like, I don't know, I felt less, but I didn't like rush myself. I quit right away. I remember I had a conversation with a Avoya recruiter. He told me, just take it easy, wait until like you start seeing an income, then you make a decision if you want to, quit and do this full time. So I waited for almost like a year until like I can see like I have now a good base of clients. I started making enough income so I can, pay the mortgage, pay the bills and everything, the necessities. And after 1 year, I decided to took the risk, quit my full-time job, leaving the engineering career behind me, and start doing 100% full-time. And since then, I've been doing like so well. We built a large base of clients, especially on social media. Social media have been like doing very well for me. So the community that I, was posting on started growing and growing. People start adding their own friends and everything. And since then, it has been a success story for me. Yeah,
that's a great story. Your background in engineering and then the fact that you're in travel now, it really is. Let's stick with you on that, Sudad, because you're talking just about like, when did it take off? You said about a year. You waited a year until, but was there something that made it take off, or was there something there that like, all of a sudden you realized, this is, I guess, you want to call it a turning point, or what changed that, and it could just be volume or whatever, but what changed that said, what, this is a career. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do this full time.
Of course. So besides the booking, we also do a customer service. So clients may call you at any time. They're asking for help. So it was for me, when I started, I had like a few clients. So it was able for me to manage doing full-time job and doing this on the side, because it was at that time I was working from home because of COVID, we started working remotely. So that's giving me more flexibility to handle 2 jobs at the same time. But after COVID, because, fading away, we start doing hybrid. So we start doing like full-time, like, 2 days or 3 days at the office and 2 days at home. But while I'm at the office, clients start calling me, like they're like stuck at the airport. They need help somewhere. Like I wasn't able like to, leave out a meeting I'm on and say, okay, I need to take phone call for a client, because they didn't know that I do this, on the side. So I realized that I need to, give all my attention, all my time to my clients, because it's all about customer service by the end. It doesn't matter, like it's beside the booking, like the support they need. It's like when they ask you, you're always available. You are always like available to take a phone call, available to answer an email, maybe reply a text message. So I really need to dedicate myself full time to do this job, so I won't be distracted by any other side job. And also, of course, the volume. When I realized that I was making enough money, and I also realized there's a potential of this job will grow in the future. So I started maybe making less than $1 million, but I have this feeling and confidence this business will grow so well. So it was like confidence, believing in myself, believing in this business, and since then, I decided to take it full time in 2021. As far as I remember, yeah.
Yeah, it's you
Very
came
well
in at
said.
a great time. What's that, Bobby? Did you want to
I think
comment
it's
on that?
very well said. Like you just begin to realize that you can't manage both a full-time job and this business when you get to that level of growth and taking care of your clients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
How about you, Bobby? Was there a turning point? I mean, it was 18 years now, and you've been doing this as a professional for all that time. But do you think about a turning point that really said, "Boy, this is the career I really want to be in"?
I was thinking about that when Sudad was talking, and that's 100% correct. It was getting to the point where I didn't want to put it down at the end of the day. I was working until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then that's all I thought about and wanted to start again. So that's when I realized it was a passion for me and it needed to become a full-time position. And I wasn't successful right away. It was a progress over the years. But yeah, once I hit that level of success, then it becomes a bigger passion too, where you want to maintain that.
Yeah. And I think, Deborah, just in what you talked about when you came on, just, and how you got started with everything, it's, a similar story there. So I guess I'd ask you, what role did Avoya have during, the phase of growth and where you are today? Like what can you share for everyone out there about that?
Speaking for a new advisor, just the education, the support, the early success program, even when you first begin and you are welcomed by the network enrichment team, they call you to see how you're doing with the courses, and the Facebook groups, the networking opportunities, the friendships you build with other advisors. I have people that I've become friends with, or I consider friends that I've never even met yet. And we help each other out and support each other. And I think that's amazing. And I related a lot to what Bobby said about it didn't feel like work. Like I would put my kids to bed at night and then I would do emails and quotes, and I loved it. It was relaxing to me. And I knew that it was a career that I wanted to stay in. So for me, I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at without Avoya. I think that I just can't say enough good things. And the leads are quality leads. I am familiar with the leads from my husband's past industry. And then even my dad, he was in the insurance business, and leads are expensive to get and they're hard to get. And so I just think that the leads that Avoya provides, I mean, they will hand it to you on a silver platter. That's what it feels like to me. And it's your responsibility to work them and, do what you want with them. And but I'm just, Avoya is amazing. And I plan on definitely growing my business for the long term with you guys.
Thank you for saying that. And I think there is a lot to that. And you talked about leads and being provided leads and the cost of what that is to us, to Avoya, to the company, and in generating those leads is big. And we want to give it to folks like yourselves that are professionals that take this, to heart and really are going to make sure you work the leads and do everything you can to, to bring that business in. So that's great to hear. Bobby, talk about your time over the years, just in what Avoya's meant in that time for you. And I pick up a little bit before you go into that, just about community too. And I saw it at our showcase at, a couple of weeks ago in Orlando. We were at the Waldorf Astoria for a great event. I see it at our conferences. I see it even in our webinars. I see the interplay with folks is just tremendous. Talk about the Avoya and what it's meant for you over 18 years.
What it's meant for me is I wouldn't be successful without Avoya. They have the mentorship program as far as we're rebuilding that over again. When I first started, it was called the Mastermind. We met with people. One thing you realize within Avoya, it was a competition. We were all helping each other do the best that we possibly can. So we would form a mentorship where we held each other accountable. okay, how many scripts are you going to send out this week? How many follow-ups are you doing? How many phone calls are you going to make? And that Avoya assisted us with tremendously with, they generate scripts too for us that we can use and tweak to our own personalities. But yeah, I can't say enough about if you can attend like the events, make sure that you're in person with your fellow advisors. And that's how we became successful. We formed up as a group and built each other up.
Yeah, I think that community aspect, we talked a little bit about it, but just learning from each other and knowing you have different specialties and, conversations that take place, that's just a great way to grow. And when you have so many people that are in it together, yes, it's everybody's got their own business. You guys are all business owners, but you're not only working on your own business, you also appreciate that by helping somebody else, somebody helps you out with something. And as you grow with the company, it's just a great way to be. Sudad, talk about that as well. I think it's important one to talk about, like where Avoya has helped in your life cycle of where you are today.
Oh, of course, yeah. Avoya has been great to me. I wouldn't be in this level without the support of Avoya. Like, I mean, if you have any questions, if you need any, if you have any requests, you get it right away. So you feel there's always somebody in your back, like somebody gonna help you, support you to a success. Also, those networking events, there are a lot of vendors that I wouldn't know because less Avoya, build all those events, all those conferences, which make me able to meet all those wonderful vendors and kind of grow up my sales. And also the network, the community, like the wonderful advisor that we met in every event, in every conference, and we became like not just like a fellow, but also I call them friends now. And we start making groups on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and every time I have a question, like somebody comes about class, say, yeah, I know this vendor, you can work with them. Goes all those recommendations for you. So definitely Avoya played a big role in my success. And I believe I will continue keeping my affiliation with them because I really big believe in affiliation business in general as a concept. And somebody always like have you give you all the support to make you successful because they're rely on your success. So it's a kind of mutual benefit for all parties.
Yeah, and I think you three are great examples of, if you put in the time and you work with a great agent in a host agency that can help you, support you, make sure you have access to suppliers. You talked about that, Sudad. That's very important to the whole kind of, package is you've got great independent advisors like yourselves, but you got to have great partnerships. And those supplier partnerships are so important. And that's a big part of what we do at Avoya is to make sure we have the best partnerships in the business.
Yeah.
Could I say one thing too, just to my testament to Avoya? I felt in the very beginning, one of my biggest challenges too, is that it can be a lonely business. Even though we're on the phone all day, even though we're emailing, but you're by yourself, usually home-based. And that's one thing that Avoya really, when I started really making those connections, that's when my business took off.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And knowing that, like, for all of you out there listening to this, like this kind of success that these folks have had, it doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And it's taking advantage of people around you, the trainings, the events, the supplier partnerships. It's working with people, talking to people, but it can happen. And it's happening for many of our folks today. Let's talk more about like selling, habits, tools, systems, different things that you guys use to help you stay organized and consistent. Why don't we start with you, Deborah, just about what do you do to stay organized and consistent as your sales volume grows?
So my response rate to customers is very fast. I kind of have to be, I feel like it takes more energy out of me to put it off. So I have obviously like my email on my phone. I'll respond right away if I can. So just being efficient in that way. I wake up really early just naturally. So I feel I'm on the West Coast. So sometimes I feel like I have a 3-hour heads up on people. I get a lot of work done in the early mornings. I just take advantage of the time I have. I'm very busy outside of work as well. So just time management, being efficient and, just, I would say that just getting the work done right away helps the customer build trust, I feel like, as well, because they book with you. One of the reasons I feel like is so they don't have to wait on the line and that they're being taken care of. They don't want to feel anxiety. So I feel like it helps ease their anxiety when I'm like have a high response rate, and just educating yourself as well on the products and with the webinars that Avoya has on their website. I mean, that helps me a lot with my sales, obviously. But yeah, I would say that's my main thing in regards to how I grow my business. Obviously, we're always looking for resources. AI has played a big role lately in our business. We are really excited about, growing and being more efficient that way and using those tools. So I'm really excited. And Avoya teaches you about AI and really encourages that as well.
Yeah, it was a big part of our last the meeting a couple weeks ago. We had a keynote speaker talking about AI, and then we're obviously putting a lot more into our technology and systems because AI is like the buzzword now, right? And everybody's talking about it, and there's fear in our space that it's going to take over for advisors, but nothing beats individual attention, picking up the phone, talking to your customers, making sure that they have what they need. And you folks do that. I mean, that's what's so different. And yes, AI is important, and the evolution, we will definitely be there. And we are on top of that, and we're going to be there. But nothing to me beats the importance of just, human interaction and being able to touch base with people. But we will utilize it to make your jobs easier as advisors and for our customers, for all your customers as well. Bobbi, can you talk about that a little bit?
I did. I attended both workshops on the showcase because I've always been intrigued by AI because I think it's a scary thought for us that somebody can just type this in what they need. Yeah. But the one thing that I've learned as I've done the trainings with Avoya at the showcases and doing some of the webinars, we need to embrace it and use it as our assistant. So now I'm not afraid of it. I'm actually using it a lot more than I thought I would, and it's helping out a lot, actually. You just have to stay on top of it and add your personal touch and make sure that it's portraying your personality as well and what you want it to say. But I'm embracing it.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. Let's embrace it, use what we can out of it. And then if it makes your life easier and more efficient, that was like the basis of my question, for all of you. And I'm very happy to hear that some of you guys and a lot of you are using AI to help you stay organized, stay efficient. Sudad, I mean, it doesn't have to be AI related, but anything you want to share on how you stay efficient, organized, that kind of stuff?
Of course, yes. So it's yesterday my wife took a screenshot of somebody asked about my company in a Facebook group, and they were asking anybody familiar with this company called Sudad Vacations, and there are a lot of comments, people like praising my company, and most of them say he's very responsive. You text him on WhatsApp, he's very responsive. And one of the ladies said, the comment said, he will gonna explain everything on detail. Just call him and he'll explain everything on detail, make it very clear. So this is my approach. Like, I'm very transparent, explain everything in details. Here's how much the package is gonna cost you. No fine prints, no additional taxes, no additional fees. This is what I'm going to pay, and this is the total price for your package. And dedicate all my time. So I consider this a client. If not gonna book him, maybe he's gonna bring his friends and family. Maybe he's gonna mention my company somewhere in Facebook. So if I kind of treat everybody the same. I'm kind of create this potential. I kind of making us a potential clients. So I think being consistent, being transparent, being responsible on the phone, because this is one of the reasons makes me kind of make a decision to switching from part-time to a full-time, because there are some clients when they call me in the morning, so I'm gonna get back to you at night. When I text them at night, because when I move forward, something else, I said, oh, you know what, we want to rush, so we decided to move forward and book ourselves. So this is kind of happened. So you need to be like on time, responsive, and just have the opportunity and don't wait too much. Yeah.
That's
great. I've been on the phone with a lot of international guests at midnight on WhatsApp.
Well, it can be challenging, right? I mean, there's no question. I thought, Deborah, you were going to tell everyone listening to us that you just moved to the West Coast and you gained 3 hours. That's a good.
When we go to North Carolina a lot because my husband's Will's parents live there, and I struggle with that time because I'm like, I have to wait 3 hours to call the suppliers, and so
it definitely makes it different on the East Coast. But there's time if you schedule your time right and you use the tools that are available to you. There should be that time to to make sure you're touching base with everyone. We talked a little bit about leads, and I think that's important for folks here to know about Avoya and how leads work here. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Bobbi, we'll start with you. Let's talk about lead generation. Obviously, we're going out there with Avoya Money, with our supplier partners, trying to drive leads into all of you so that you could handle those live leads. What tips do you have for somebody maybe new to the business or somewhere else on, like, how do you use them for the first time? Like, what do you do? You know, that kind of stuff I think would be important for folks here.
Well, my actual daughter is kind of breaking into the industry a little bit with me as well. And one thing that I always told her is that make sure that you're specializing. And initially, you're going to start with like the open water cruises, the ocean cruises when you're new to the industry. I said, make sure you know that product. So when you're taking the leads, you can actually respond accordingly. Make sure that you have the information that they need. It's not like you just want to take as many leads as you can and hope that something hits the wall. I think you just need to know your product, know what leads you're taking, and then you gain that relationship moving forward there.
I think that's a great point. And the fact that we set up our training and the way, you know, we've got brand sales and really focused on, you know, really learning certain suppliers and lead types and getting really good at those first before you move on. I think that's important for the folks listening to understand. Deborah, someone who's newer to Avoya with the lead process, can you just talk about how you jumped in there, what that was like, and you know, what you can share that, you know, think would be good for others to hear?
Yeah, so I think slow and steady is good advice, and I was given Avoya encouraged that, and just pacing yourself when you first begin, and giving yourself grace and not rushing into it right away, and really, you know, those first few leads you take are nerve-wracking. You're like, so I mean, I remember I was so proud. My first booking was a Norwegian Haven Suite, and I was so excited, but it was the weekend. So I was like scrambling, trying to get a hold of somebody. But you know, actually I was listening to a YouTube on Avoya. Another advisor mentioned like one thing she wanted to remind herself was the trip record doesn't have to be perfect right away. And I was like, oh, okay. So you slowly just progress and you gain more confidence. And as I progressed, I've really been able to make personal connections with my guests. That's something that's really helped me with my sales is on that first call, I try to have a conversation outside of, you know, talking about a trip. I want to like learn about them. I genuinely do have interest in the people I talk to. And I think people know that, and you can feel a wall come down with people. And so I think that also helps. Like people are bombarded with information. Probably when I get off the phone with them, they're receiving 10 ads from, you know, different cruise lines. And so I want to be like set apart. I want them to not just look at me as a booking agent. I want them to see me as somebody they can trust. And one of my favorite things I heard somebody say once, it's pretty famous, is people don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. And that really stuck with me. And I really try to implement that into my business because I want people to know I care. Like whether it's a $3,000 trip or a $50,000 expedition cruise, like, I care. And I think people really feel that from me. And I think that's helped me with my sales.
Thanks for that. And thank you, Bobbi. Sudad, I'm going to give you a different question, similar, but you know, not lead related so much, but what Avoya tools or systems do you use daily that make a difference in your workflow?
Definitely Agent Power is still like a great, you know, platform to use. I'm still using Agent Power to send like quotes for cruises, for example. Also documenting, like keep me on track, like all those like daily reminders that you need to call this client because he came back from the trip. You need to send an email to follow up. So kind of keep me more organized. All the email system, all this calendar events that I can put kind of make me, you know, working diligently and efficiently. And for definitely AP has many tools that I still use and keep using on a daily basis. Also, there's the search engine that IP has. Like it's a when you click, you go to VAX. When you click, you go to cruises. When you click, you go to, you know, beaches and resorts. So it's definitely helpful. it's always great to have like one platform you use instead of multiple platforms can keep it stack. So AP is like one all-in-one tool that makes you working efficiently for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And we know what AP is and agent power, but Bobbi, I'll ask you, like, as one of the folks that have been here for a couple of years, just to talk about what agent power is and what we call it AP, agent power. Obviously, the four of us know it well, but for folks listening that have no idea, what is agent power?
Agent power is like an even more advanced client resource management system. So for every lead that comes in, or every personal client, or every trip you make, we enter it into the system, and we can set up scripts that go out that we create ourselves, or we can use that that are already provided for us and tweak them. But it just manages all of every possible detail of their trips, their nicknames, their family members who we can merge together. It also provides with a calendar that I can honestly say I wasn't the greatest at in the beginning, a little unorganized, but I've learned over the process now that they have a calendar within each record too, where you can set your priority of meetings. The most important start from 9 to 10 a.m., however you want to schedule it. 11 to 12 is this and that. It's just a very advanced client management system.
That's a great example, and great to explain that, because I think it's important for people to understand that this is not, it's a great business and it's a lot of fun, but you need the tools to be able to succeed, right? You need the leads, you need the tools, and you need the support. So
and
that's
one thing, I'm sorry, Phil, but one thing, if I could just jump in and say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's so nice to have it. We have an app on our phone, or we can pull it up on our phone, everything. So all of your client information is based within their record, and it's secured. So it's nice when you're maybe out at a birthday party and one of your client needs something. You're not scrambling around looking for a Post-it note or somewhere on your desk that you're not there. It's all within one model.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really important to Avoya. Obviously, we've been leaders in technology for many years. It's something that we've had a great system, and we're continuing to build on that, whether it's new AI tools, stabilizing certain parts of our business, but then turbocharging other parts of our business for what people need now. So that will continue to be like one of the biggest things that we talk about in the future with Avoya, is to continuing to grow our technology. So you guys, the three of you are incredible in the businesses you've built. There's no question. Your sales numbers speak for themselves. You're very successful. Is there anything you do to avoid burnout? Like, is there something that you think about for yourself, for all these people? Because people that are listening to us, there's probably folks that are, trying to decide whether they come into this business, and they're seeing the three of you and be like, wow, those three are impressive. They've got it together. But like, is there something you do personally? And I'll start with you, Sudad. Is there something you do to like just avoid burnout?
I mean, I can be an example for anyone like I've never been in this industry at all. Like, I have no experience in sales, for example. I don't have experience in travel industry. So I'm kind of a little bit all new to this business, but I kind of kept working on myself, attending all those events, attending all those conferences, keep doing all the training sessions, and working efficiently, dedicating all my time, all my resources to be successful. So definitely I'm gonna give tips to everyone who wants to join this business. Like, it's for everybody. Anybody can join if you believe in yourself. If you believe that you can, if you have the potentials, you definitely will grow and make a success.
That's great. I appreciate that, and I think it's just important to make sure that you're taking care of yourself while you're taking care of everyone else. There's no question about that, finding ways to do that. I think I'll ask this question for, we'll start with you, Bobbi, on, have you built a team or worked with sub-agents in the past, and what made you decide to go that route? And, if there's anything you want to share there.
I actually haven't. I have my daughter, like I said, is coming in and as an assistant, an ILA, we call it independent licensed agent, to assist. But otherwise, I've actually done this on my own.
That's impressive.
With the assistance of Avoya. And the one thing I would just add to the burnout, I'll speak to what Deborah said too. It's a passion for us. Once you and I think when new agents, when they see how exciting it can be, it's going to be a passion. However, I do think there are things that you have to set your out of office. If you're done at 6 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock at night, then, your clients will adjust to that as well, because they can't go to a brick and mortar agency at 5 o'clock. However, we're still there for anything that would be an emergency or anything you need. Does that make sense?
No, it does. 100%. I'll ask that to Sudad or Deborah. Are you working with ILAs, or is it, and if not, we can explain what that is. Deborah, I know you work with Will. Are there others in your business?
No, it's just us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sudad, same?
It's me. It's one man show. It's just me. Sometimes I say we. Some people believe like I have like a bunch of
because you're doing so much, you have to be.
Because we kind of give it more like power than we say I. This is what I learned like that business and sales, and they say we, instead of they say I. So it's just me. I'm doing like 100% full time just by myself. But sometimes I kind of when I like, for example, call the 800 number, they put me on long hold. I asked my wife to hold my phone. Said if they pick up, give me the phone. But my wife, I have 2 boys, 2 kids, so they have 4 and 8. So he's also like he's distracted anyway with the boys. So never mind. I can look at the phone every time. I'll wait for it until they pick up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you guys have done it yourselves, and that's impressive. Obviously, you work with, whether your daughter or your husband, and there's others involved in the business. The reason I brought it up is it is an opportunity for folks to, let's say they're building their business and they want to add, you spoke about it, Bobbi, what an ILA is, and that is an option to go as well. But it's just interesting. Every business can be different here, and you can grow it, with family members or with others. There's just opportunity for you to grow your own business within the framework of a company that's going to give you technology support, leads. That's what's incredible about it. And I think in this day and age where we're more of a stay-at-home society for a lot of people, and the opportunity to be able to do this and, in travel and to have that and to have leads is important to people. Let's talk about, we talked about a lot about our support, our education, mentorship. So I won't come back too much to that. But I would want you guys, and let's start with you, Deborah. What advice would you give to someone considering joining Avoya or the industry? I know we talked a lot about technology, leads, marketing, but what advice would you give personally to someone considering joining Avoya or the industry in general?
So just take advantage of the resources that Avoya offers. I would say, reach out to other IAs for support and advice. It's easy when you first begin to feel discouraged maybe and overwhelmed, but everyone's been there, and just ask for help. There's so many resources. You can meet with brand sales through Zoom if you have any questions. My advice would be just obviously if you're working for yourself, you have your own business, there's an aspect where you do have to be self-motivated, time management, but the reward is there. I mean, it's just priceless to be able to, speaking of like burnout, you have the option of, obviously you want to take care of your current guests and, respond to emails, but you also have the option if you want to step away for a week to not take new leads. And that's such a freedom. And I personally think it's such a great career for stay-at-home moms. I mean, or, parents. They're so good at multitasking. And I think that this career, you definitely have to be good at multitasking. There's a lot coming at you at once. So just staying organized, I would say. And like I touched on earlier, just being with your response rates, being fast, because it just makes your job easier when you respond right away.
Yeah, that's great advice. Bobbi, what would you add to that?
I would add to that, like one of our executives had mentioned as well. I mean, we're in the industry to sell fun and to sell dreams and to sell baby moons and honeymoons and destination weddings. And my advice would be just to have fun with it and enjoy what a gift it is, versus there's a lot of other things that not as fun to be doing. But yeah, stay organized, reinvent yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help, like Deborah said, and just try to stay as organized as possible.
That's great advice.
I will say one thing that's great about this career as a sales, you're essentially a sales doing sales. I have literally never had someone be rude to me. And I think it's like people are looking to you, they're happy, they want to plan a trip. And that's very rare in the sales industry. Usually, you know, people can be cruel. I'm not saying like people can't be that way, but I have never truly experienced somebody be rude to me. And that is kind of baffling in a sales environment. So that's another great thing about this career.
Yeah, I think it speaks to what Bobbi was saying about, you know, we're selling fun, we're selling dreams, destination experiences for people. I mean, I that's awesome that you have never had anyone to be mean. I hope that continues for the rest of your career. I really do. and you know, because look, I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to support people as they, you know, to help them out with experiences. And you guys get to travel a little bit and get to see places, and to be able to bring that back to them and the experiences is so important. But no, that's a great thing to say, and for people coming into this business. Sudad, let's go to you real quick with what, and it's not a quick, but you know, what's your definition of success today? Like, what does that look like for you? And this question I'm going to ask all three of you. So, what's your definition of success today?
Oh, that's a very loaded, very loaded question. I believe
Yeah.
that the definition of success for me is like when it's the products that what you get from your clients, like when they came back happy and they write you a great review. I believe that's what really make me. This is what I believe. Like I really made a huge success. But every time when the clients go back on a trip and they come back and they send me a text or I call them and they call me and said we had the best times ever. This is what I feel like I really, you know, changed something. I really, just like Deborah and Bobbi said, like we sell happiness packages. So when they came back happy, so it's not about the you know, the income that you make, but also you kind of change people's lives for better. So this is what I consider real success.
That's great. Bobbi, I'll go to you on that one. What's success look like to you today?
I agree with that too. I mean, having happy clients and people that say, "Oh, yeah, you have to call Bobbi because she's the one you need to talk to about your vacation." That makes my heart swell when I get something like that. But also being able to have an income or a living where I'm able to spend time with my new granddaughter, where I'm able to take a weekend off, where I'm able to enjoy my life a little bit as well too, and to travel to different places. So both are important to me. Very happy clients, but also making a living that I'm comfortable with as well.
Yeah, no question. And then Deborah, what would you add to that? I mean, obviously they brought up great points about, you know, having that relational aspect. What would you add anything to that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just got an email this morning. Somebody just came back from their Norway cruise and they sent pictures and just how great it was and that they wanted to compliment me. And they said that I was a big part of why it was so great. And that just feels so good. It makes me feel like I did my job well. And creating friendships with my clients. That's what I love as well. That's what makes me feel like I'm, you know, doing my job well again. And also like what Bobbi said, I mean, being able to be home with my children and be present. I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I've always loved working as well. So having the best of both worlds is such a gift. And so
that's terrific. No, listen, I appreciate you guys coming on and spending some time with me and this whole audience. I can't believe it's been 50 minutes already.
I know.
I still have like 20 more questions I can ask you guys, but I think it's important. I think we covered a lot of the basis of support, of leads, of what got you into the business, the importance of relationship, the community of Avoya, the technology that we have. I think we covered that enough. And to be fair, I think maybe it'd be a good idea if we just open it up for questions, because I know I looked at some of the comments here and there's some good questions here. So Shane, I'll ask you to come on. I could ask these guys 20 more questions and they'd be so interesting to listen to. But I think, you know what, why not, you know, take a little time listening to some comments or questions, and then we can always come back another time too.
I'm muted, of course.
Running this
every time. So yeah, we have actually quite a few questions from the audience, which means you all really engaged them. So thank you so much. just for the audience, as a reminder, Bobbi mentioned, finding a niche. I think when you were talking about your daughter getting into the industry, we linked our article that talks specifically about finding your niche, why it's important, how you can do it. So please go check that out. We also linked to Agent Power's profile or directory that is on Host Agencies Review's website, which everybody here talked about. So if you want to learn more about Agent Power, please go check that out. If you want us to link it again, Abby is super happy to put that back into the comments. So, thank you, Abby. She's already on it. All right. You ready for some questions from the audience?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Amazing. Okay. So this is a great question from Carrie. Can you elaborate on the live lead program? I get most of my leads from social media platforms. So does anyone want to take that one on?
I'll leave it to you three if one of you guys wants to take it on. I guess I'll start because I'll explain how leads work at Avoya, so you understand a little bit. I talked a little bit about it during the time, but we spend a lot of what we consider Avoya dollars and our resources to drive leads into our network of independent advisors. It's a big part of what we've done. It's been something that Avoya has been doing for many, many years, and we built our network with that. And we're different than a lot of host agencies that maybe don't provide leads. So it's important for people to understand when they're considering different host agencies, who provides leads, who provides support, technology, all that stuff. And these guys did a better job than I can do, because I'm obviously with the company and I'm a sales guy. I can sell you on why you should come here. But leads are the most, leads are currency, is what we like to say. They are the most important thing that we can give to our network. And then we rely on professionals like these folks here to close those leads. We provide support to them to be able to do so, the technology. But driving leads is not easy in this day and age. It's very competitive space, but it's something that we are all in on. And we work with our supplier partners and ourselves to generate leads through search engine optimization, our website. We've got a contact center that works with the network to drive leads into them. So we spend a lot of money, and I would probably need a lot more time to get into all the mechanics of what makes a lead process works. But just know that a big part of what Avoya is about and what we do is to generate leads for these people to close. Wonderful. Any of you guys want to take on just explaining leads and how important they are in your business?
I mean, probably 99% of my business came from live leads. You have the option of doing web leads or phone leads. Phone leads being the guest is on the phone and you have to be ready to take the call. Web leads are inquiries that they send in and then you accept it, and email call right away. So yeah.
I would say too, for me, I have largely my own book of business, just being local. But one thing that I like is I think in this industry, we can always reinvent ourselves. So one thing about the lead program that I love is that if I want to learn an Oceana or if I want to learn Viking, I make sure I'm a specialist in it. And I may not be able to generate those own leads around my own community, but it helps to be able to take those leads and be able to specialize in those.
I think it speaks to, that's great. And you guys come at it from a different perspective. And I know Sudad does a lot of his own customers as well. And I think that's what's great about Avoya as a host agency is the flexibility. If you want to pull those leads, you can do that. Like Deborah getting phone leads and web leads and different specialties, you can do that. Or you can continue to grow your own business with our support tools and marketing as well to help you out. So what we'd like to do is to just provide a lot of flexibility for people.
Yeah, it's great to have a backup. So sometimes maybe I don't have enough personal clients to do my business. So it's great to have a backup, like a system that you can also rely on to it's like an additional system that you can generate leads from, and you can also start promoting and selling to. So I always consider Avoya leads. For me, because my business relies most on personal clients, but I feel like there is also another system on the side that I can also use to make sales. So that's also great. Yeah.
And the live leads will hopefully turn into returning guests. I mean, I've spoken to multiple IAs who all their business in the beginning, they only took live leads, but that business has grown. Like people will come back to them, refer them, and they no longer need to take live leads, and they sell millions of dollars. And I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I still have my very first client. I'm sorry, I still have my very first lead from Avoya.
Oh, you do? That's outstanding.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've probably grown your business, right, with referrals and other folks.
Yes, they've been wonderful. But it was the very first lead that I took, and being very nervous about it, like Deborah had said. But yeah, it's been with me for 18 years now.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing that you all provide leads, because they're warm leads. There's nothing better than that. They've come to you, they've expressed interest. So I think that's incredibly wonderful. Before I get to my next question, Abby has posted the link for Avoya's page on Host Agency Reviews, that if we do not get to your question, please send it in directly to Avoya. They always answer their questions, quick turnaround time. So please post your questions to them, because there are so many, which we love, but we cannot get to all of them. So save that link for later. Okay, so we have another one, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Cirillo Travel Group is asking, when you were or still are one solo advisor, what was your first step to really scaling your business? So maybe Bobbi, since 18 years, maybe I'll come to you first.
I have a big repeat base. And like we had said earlier, it takes a long time to build that up. It takes a couple of years. So I'm very fortunate in that respect, where I'm also in a community where I'm very active in the community. So I get a lot of referrals and clientele from there as well. But like I said, with my Avoya leads, a lot of them I've been working with for years, and they come back and then they'll refer their families or they refer their friends. And so I've been very blessed with the lead program as well.
Wonderful.
Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, so there are many approaches to scale your business. For me, I've been using social media a lot. So you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have YouTube. There are a lot of, now many platforms that can use to promote your business. And this is like a free store. Basically, you can create a Facebook page and start, promoting and posting. $0. It's gonna cost you $0 to create a Facebook page and start promoting. So I basically start 100% relying on social media, and the moment you using social media and people engaging, if you make those posts that kind of attract audience and people start engaging, liking, commenting, it's going to show up on other friends' news feeds. So you're going to create like a community. So I'm lucky, like I started like with maybe 500, maybe like 100 or 200 back in 2021 when I started my business, and now we have close to combined with around 60K of followers on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook page, and Facebook group. And it's keep growing. As we speak now, I see people joining now with my Facebook page. So it's kind of more like passive income with people joining while you're, while you're traveling, while you're doing something else. So you have this community start getting bigger and bigger. I know that some travel advisors that who go like to local communities, that go to that chamber of commerce for their city they live at, or they attend like churches or something like that. So they kind of meet in person and meet people. So there are many ways that you can scale your business. Everyone has his own approach. Mine may be social media, others different. So yeah,
that's great.
So we are just about at time. There's always, I think, for when you're looking to scale your business, there's always so many different ideas. I'm one person who takes all of the ideas that have been shared by fellow advisors or by others in the industry. I kind of put them all on. I use ClickUp as a project management tool, but I kind of put them all there, and then I start to prioritize what's kind of the most important to get started with. Different things work for different people. And so highly recommend everybody listening to take a listen, write them down, and see what best suits you as well. Different things, like I said, work for different people. I want to thank everybody. Please go to Avoya's directory. It's been linked a couple times now so that you can submit your questions, because I know we had a lot more questions. I think probably the most questions we've actually ever gotten submitted on a webinar.
That's great.
So that is
well done, Sudad, Bobbi, and Deborah. Well done.
Well done to really all of you. You really, thank you so much to everybody listening. I loved all of your questions. I kind of just did them in order. So please go submit them to Avoya directly. Like I said, their turnaround time is super quick. And
we put together that success map that you guys linked off there. If you could just touch on that, just for folks to be able to go get more information, because this webinar was great. I can't believe how fast the hour went, but learn more about strategies and different things that get you to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million plus. We put some of that info in there for all of you guys that were live here. So we appreciate you taking the time to come see us. And Shana, thank you.
Thank you so much. We will make sure everybody registered gets the link to the success map. So do not worry. Myself and Abby both have it. We will send it along to everybody if we don't have time to put it in the comments. But thank you again for joining us.
So much.
You can listen again. This stays in YouTube. So please, if there's anything you want to go listen to again, please do. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.